Live from the CSI Soccer Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents exclusive NCAA Division III women's soccer coverage. Today's matchup features the Devils of FDU-Florham taking on the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Foreman, joined by Mike Babuski, bringing you all the action live from midfield during today's game. And Mike, the Dolphins coming into this matchup against the Devils, having dropped 2 of their last 3 games, including a loss at Newman just a few days ago back on Saturday. So what will you be looking for in today's matchup?
Well, you know, Joe, as you mentioned, the Dolphins coming off of a couple of tough non-conference losses. First, they traveled on the road to William Patterson, and, you know, William Patterson was very tough in that game, and, you know, they were able to defeat the Dolphins 5-1. The Dolphins came back here, defeated York College to remain undefeated in conference play, and, you know, they went on the road last weekend and went down to Pennsylvania, played a good game against Newman, but unfortunately for the Dolphins came up a goal short. So they're looking to get back on track against a interesting FDU-Florham team, Joe, that has beaten William Patterson and lost to Lehman College.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Mike. Some common opponents between these two teams so far this season. You mentioned Lehman, a team the Dolphins have not played yet. That matchup ahead on October 10th next month, but you did mention the matchup between the Devils and William Patterson, a 2-0 victory in that game for FDU-Florham. The Devils outshot William Patterson in that game, 15-3, 6-2 in shots on goal in favor of the Devils in that game. So really a dominant performance in that matchup for FDU-Florham. But then you mentioned a team the Dolphins are very familiar with, Lehman College, taking on the Devils as well this season. That game, a 1-0 victory for the Lightning. Actually, that was the last game that this FDU-Florham team played, a 1-0 victory in that game for Lehman College. And in that game, FDU-Florham did outshoot the Lightning 20-8, 6-4 in favor of the Devils in shots on goal, but that was not enough, as in the 52nd minute, Daisy Gomez broke through for Lehman College, scoring the game's lone goal. So those opponents, just a couple of teams that both the Dolphins and Devils will face this year. Also a common opponent in Ramapo as well, both the Dolphins and Devils winning their matchup against Ramapo College. So those just some common opponents between these two teams to look at heading into today's matchup.
Yeah, you know, Joe, as very often can happen in these soccer games, if you take advantage of one mistake, get some good goaltending and play some good defense, you're able to make that one goal stand. And, you know, you mentioned, Joe, that the Devils were 20 shots on goal in that game, but it wasn't enough, as Lehman was able to get that Daisy Gomez goal, as you mentioned, off of a free kick opportunity for the only goal of the game, and the Lightning were able to make it stand up. So you're going to have an FDU team that's, you know, looking to come back off of their loss, and the Dolphin team coming off of 2 losses in their last 2 non-conference games. So 2 teams that it should be pretty hungry and come out and should make for a good non-conference game here this afternoon.
And really no way for us to predict which way this matchup will go. Should be an exciting one between the Dolphins and Devils. And taking a look at the Dolphins' defeats this season, in all of those games the Dolphins have lost, they've either scored 1 goal or no goals. That coming from a team that averages over 4 goals per game so far in 2018. So the Dolphins, of course, will be looking to get back up on the scoreboard with more than a single goal in this one. As for FDU-Florham, I mentioned before, victories over Ramapo and over William Patterson teams the Dolphins have faced so far this year. And the goal-scoring numbers for the Devils, about 2.3 goals per game this season, holding the opposition to under a single goal per game. So this is a team that can certainly get it done defensively. They'll be looking to slow down a Dolphins team that, as I just mentioned, comes in averaging over 4 goals per game.
Yeah, and, you know, Joe, it's important for us also to mention that Samantha Laval will be out of the lineup again today. She missed the game against Newman University, and she missed the previous game as well. So she's going to miss her 3rd consecutive game. At least she's not in the starting lineup here this afternoon. So a big blow for the Dolphins here in the early going, as Laval out of the lineup. So, you know, just another challenge for the Dolphins to overcome here this afternoon.
And not only Samantha Laval, but Natalia Sandor and Paulina Ambris out of the Dolphins lineup as well. And if I'm counting correctly, that is 15 goals scored in this season between those 3 players missing from the Dolphins lineup entering today's action. So the Dolphins will have to look for more sources of offense on the attack, though we've seen this season already there are certainly other players who can get it done. I count what looks like somewhere between 5 and 7 other players who have scored multiple goals. I think 7 is the number for the Dolphins. So CSI certainly has other places they can go to find offense on the attack, and I think they'll need those other sources of offense in this game.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, if a player is iffy in a non-conference game, you're certainly not going to want to take any chance on them. The Dolphins' goal, of course, on this year is to win their 4th consecutive CUNYAC championship. They have the big CUNYAC matchup coming up against Lehman College. That game will be on the road on October 10th, and then finish the regular season on October 20th against Brooklyn College. So Dolphins won't take any chances with all that extra time off available. And, you know, the Dolphins will wait for these players to come back. But obviously a big blow for today's game with Laval not in the starting lineup.
Certainly a big blow for the Dolphins. But you mentioned she also missed their last matchup at Newman University. And in that game, the Dolphins were certainly competitive. Didn't score until the 81st minute in that game. It was Samantha Lapardo who broke through on a goal assisted by Nicole Mignon. In that game, CSI outshot 14-9, 10-7 in shots on goal in favor of Newman University, but a competitive game which the Dolphins dropped by a single goal, 2-1. So they showed they can certainly compete without Laval. Of course, it's not easy for them to do that given how efficiently Laval has scored for them so far this season. It seems as if half the shots she puts on goal find the back of the net. Laval has been that good for the College of Staten Island this year. They'll be without her today, but as I said before, certainly more places the Dolphins can go for offense on the attack.
Yeah, and, you know, the CSI women's team, you know, looking very well, you know, Joe, as far as conference play goes, and you know, looking to continue to play well in these non-conference games as well. So, you know, real exciting matchup here today, Joe, in this with this non-conference opponent for the Dolphins.
And you mentioned the strong conference play for the Dolphins. I'm taking a look very quickly down the schedule, and it looks like the Dolphins have outscored conference opponents 23-0 so far on the season. Some big wins against Medgar Evers and York, and a 3-0 win over John Jay. So CSI has certainly found success in the conference, but out of the conference, they've also found success as well. Dropped their first 2 non-conference matchups earlier this season, back on August 31st and September 1st against Kane and Stockton, but then they reeled off 3 straight non-conference victories over Keystone, Ramapo, and St. Joseph's College of Brooklyn. You mentioned they've lost their last 2 non-conference matchups. Look to break that trend in today's game as you get a look at the current men's soccer standings, or at least it says men's, up there on the screen. So yeah, right now, CUNYAC standings for the men up there as we get a look at those.
Yeah, you know, perfect opportunity to segue over to the men's team, Joe, that is playing just unbelievable soccer. They routed York College 16-1 in their last game, a game we had for you right here on CSI Sportsnet, and they continue to play well. And then you see the women's standings up in front of you. Lehman College still undefeated. The Dolphins yet to play them. CCNY 2-0. The Dolphins yet to play them. And then Brooklyn College to wrap up the regular season. So a lot of conference soccer remaining. The season goes fast. We're just a couple of weeks away, Joe, from the conference championships. But the Dolphins looking pretty good in the conference, and as you mentioned, yet to allow a single goal here this year.
And certainly a big week for the College of Staten Island coming up. They have a matchup today against FDU-Florham, of course, and this Saturday in the CUNYAC Game of the Week, we'll be back with you once again here on CSI Sportsnet with a pair of matchups, one of those being the women taking on the Beavers of CCNY. We'll see if the Beavers enter that matchup, keeping an unbeaten record in the CUNYAC Conference. The Dolphins will be looking to do the same as they have no conference games between now and then. You mentioned as well Lehman undefeated, as we saw on the screen just before. So 3 teams right now in the CUNYAC Conference at the top of the standings. CSI, Lehman, and CCNY all unbeaten in the CUNYAC. Solid overall records as well. The Dolphins 6-4, Lehman 5-2-1, and CCNY at 6-3. We'll see which one of those teams breaks first in terms of being dealt their first conference defeat.
So we're just winding down and getting ready for the start of the anthem. So why don't we step aside, take a break, and we'll be back to bring you the starting lineups and the start of this afternoon's game right here on CSI Sportsnet.
Never won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 1,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet. Sugar box under the bed.
Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
La 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 la, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed. No one.
And we're back from the CSI Soccer Complex. This is Joe Foreman along with Mike Baybuski as we're about to get underway. Dolphins and Devils from the CSI Soccer Complex. The starters have been introduced. The national anthem has been played. And, Mike, you have the starting lineups for both teams in front of you.
Thanks a lot, Joe. First, for the visiting FDU-Florham team, it'll be number 99, Ashley Polino in goal. The remaining starting lineup for the Devils, number 5, Sydney Weber. Number 6, Claire Mullins. Number 7, Erica Martins. Number 8, Dari Lines. Number 10, Madeline Finnegan. Number 15, Brianna Cucini. Number 16, Carly Bresney. Number 22, Madison Rosa. Number 30, Kesa Lombardi. And number 33, Laura Scarmazzino. For the home team Dolphins, it'll be Kayla DiBenedetto in goal. The remainder of the starting lineup for the Dolphins, number 2, Lauren Smith. Number 5, Rebecca D'Aloia. Number 7, Victoria Sanchez. Number 8, Namina Bracic. Number 11, Nicole Mignon. Number 13, Lisbeth Aparicio. Number 16, Catherine Mulligan. Number 22, Brianna DiStefano. Number 24, Mercedes Palenkovic. And number 27, Adriana Perello. Of course, you mentioned earlier, Joe, the Dolphins coming in without 3 players available in the lineup here this afternoon.
Well, as I mentioned during the pregame, 15 goals worth of scoring missing from the Dolphins lineup today. I believe Sandor and Laval have started the majority of the games for the College of Staten Island that they've played in this season, and Paulina Ambrose has also gotten some starts for CSI as well. So the Dolphins missing a lot of scoring entering this game, but they'll hope that they have enough out there on the pitch, and there's no reason to believe they don't. A team that averages over 4 goals per game this season. They've gotten contributions across the board so far. I mentioned 7 players who have scored at least a pair of goals this season as you get a look at the Dolphins' all-time series numbers against FDU-Florham, looking for their first victory all-time over the Devils in this game today at the CSI Soccer Complex. 3 of their 7 losses against FDU coming here at home.
Yeah, and, there have been some pretty bad losses, Joe, among those games, especially out in New Jersey. So, the Dolphins, looking again to get a big win in a non-conference game, Joe, after dropping their last 2 in the on the non-conference schedule.
Well, as we spoke about during the pregame, in many of the Dolphins' losses, they have either scored no goals or only a single goal, and that held true, of course, in those 2 non-conference matchups over the past couple of weeks at William Patterson and at Newman University. Dolphins will look to break that trend here this afternoon, looking for their 2nd win in the last 4, trying to avoid dropping back-to-back games, something they haven't done since the beginning of the season. And we are underway from the CSI Soccer Complex as Nicole Mignon moves the ball over to Lisbeth Aparicio along the far sideline. Aparicio moves it back to Mulligan. Now ball with Aparicio once again, and it's over the far sideline. Dolphins to throw in. Aparicio throws in towards Palenkovic, and that's off her foot and over the far sideline, throwing for the Devils.
Yeah, and, Joe, another beautiful day for soccer. It's not cold. It's not too windy. The sun is out shining. So the soccer season has been pretty good weather so far for both the men's and the women's team.
We've only really had one day where the weather was poor. That was a women's soccer matchup against Ramapo, a game the Dolphins won. Other than that, we've been able to cover all of the home games so far this season, and we've been very fortunate with the weather we've had at the CSI Soccer Complex in 2018 as the Dolphins slowly moving it side to side, and that pass intercepted. Cuccinelli dribbles toward the midfield circle, looks to play one of her teammates ahead, intercepted nicely by D'Aloia. Now Sanchez looking for Palenkovic. Palenkovic gives chase, but unable to get there before Paulino.
And we've talked about Palenkovic a lot during the season, Joe, a first-year player on the team, and, really has added a lot of spark to this team, and, a hustle player who's all over the field. So Dolphins will be looking to her for some offense this afternoon as well.
That ball up ahead to Finnegan. Finnegan gives chase along the near sideline and cannot keep it in. It will be a Dolphins throw-in. As they await a ball from the near sideline. We have a brief pause in the action. D'Aloia to throw in for the Dolphins, looking for Sanchez. That's off the foot of Finnegan. Devils and Dolphins fighting for it. And it will be the Devils coming away with it. That's Scarmazzino, and she's dispossessed. Dolphins now moving forward on the attack quickly as Smith plays one ahead to Bracic. Bracic working against Rosa, crosses one in front, and that's right into the arms of Ashley Paul.
A good job on the year. They've allowed just 8 goals while scoring 25 themselves. So they're a tough team to score against. So Dolphins will be looking to get some offense going, and here comes an opportunity for the Devils.
And that one found its way into a dangerous spot very quickly as the Devils were able to chase it down, forcing DiBenedetto off her line. Fortunately for her, that ball not on target, well wide. And the Dolphins will take a goal kick. This will be Mulligan, and she passes it a short distance ahead to Aparicio. It's back with Mulligan. Her pass intended for Bracic, intercepted. It's Scarmazzino who passes one toward the midfield circle. That was off the foot of Bresny, and Dolphins had it for a moment. Now the two teams fighting for possession in the midfield. It's chipped up in the air, headed ahead by Bracic. Attempting to clear it was Rosa. That deflected off of Bracic, and that one nearly trouble as Paulino saw that one get by her. It was just wide of that right post.
Yeah, that was Pelinkovic, Joe, getting that shot towards goal, and the Dolphins with an opportunity there and unable to get the ball on net. So it'll be a free kick opportunity coming up here for Paulino.
As we get another look at that last shot attempt.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Bracic, Joe, to knock it away, and then an opportunity there, but the shot went wide.
Initial deflection by Bracic, shot wide by Pelinkovic. May have even been partially blocked. It's tough to tell from our angle, as it looks like this is a free kick for the Devils that we missed, or a foul call that we missed anyway, as it's Lauren Smith coming away with the ball, moving it ahead to Perello. Adriana Perello wearing number 27 in this game, typically wears 28, as she finds Pelinkovic just beyond the midfield circle and quickly gives it up to Mignon and back to Pelinkovic, who sees her pass knocked away back towards her team's defensive back line, and Lisbeth Aparicio will pass it over to her goalkeeper, Kayla DiBenedetto. DiBenedetto finding Nicole Mignon, who heads it up in the air. It's taken away by Scarmazzino. Now the Devils with possession. This is Finnegan. Over to Lombardi and back to Finnegan. Deloya tries to shoulder her off the ball. She does. And that will be a goal kick. So a good defensive play by Deloya, as I thought that was goal kick signaled. Is it a corner?
It'll be a corner kick here, Joe, the first of the game. And, you know, an interesting thing, Joe, you look at this Devils starting lineup here. Their three leading scorers, all not in the starting lineup. Erica Peter, who leads the team with 7 goals, not starting. Amanda Croce has 6 goals. And Tatiana Nieto, who has 2 goals and 8 assists. None of those 3 players in the starting lineup this afternoon for the Devils.
That's a good point to bring up, Mike, because as we mentioned before, the Dolphins missing their leading goal scorer, Samantha Laval, as that corner's taken over the crowd in front of goal and moving toward the far sideline. Dolphins give chase. I think that was Bracic who cleared it away. Throw-in upcoming for the Devils. That one thrown in towards Lombardi. Fight for possession. It's Cuccinelli working against Mignon. She wanted a foul call, will not get it. Mignon tried to move it forward. Her pass was blocked. Now chipped up in the air by Aparicio and headed away by the Devils. And that's a nice pass off the heel of Martins, but the official's flag is up. And offsides is the call.
Yeah, so the Devils will get called for the first offsides of the afternoon, giving the Dolphins the opportunity for the free kick.
It's Mulligan taking the free kick, a short one, a pass to Deloya, who was looking for Perello on that last pass attempt. A bit too long, and Mulligan cuts off Lombardi, giving chase to that ball there. Devils come away with it for a moment. That pass to Lombardi off her foot. Now it is Finnegan who finds her teammate inside. This is Martins working in front, and that shot attempt saved by Kayla DiBenedetto.
Yeah, but Martins was able to free herself up a little bit, Joe, and get a pretty hard shot towards goal. It was right in the center. Nice play by DiBenedetto to make the save, but a little bit of open space that time in the penalty area for the Dolphins.
Good job by the Devils there to maintain possession of that ball through a lot of traffic as the Dolphins look to move forward on the attack quickly. It's Pelinkovic along the far sideline. Pelinkovic gets by one Devil, crosses it in front. That's off the chest of Mullins and knocked up in the air. Lauren Smith giving chase. Smith working against Finnegan. Ball finds its way to Perello, who fires one toward goal, and on one hop, Ashley Paulino able to make the grab.
Yeah, so that was Perello getting that one on goal, and Bracic really just a step short, Joe, of possibly getting into to be able to flick that ball forward, but instead it'll be a free kick for the Devils.
A long free kick taken as Martin was looking for Lombardi. Pass cut off by Mulligan. I believe it was partially blocked as well. But the Dolphins can't maintain possession as that gets away from Mulligan, trying to find Aparicio, and throw in for the Devils is taken as the two teams fight for possession. Nice job there to beat a pair of defenders by the attacking Devil. I can't get a number on that, but nearly made a nice move to get by. I believe that was Cuccinelli who made the nice move as the Dolphins chase the ball toward the near sideline and are unable to keep it in. Quick throw-in taken by Finnegan. That's chipped up in the air toward the penalty area, and DiBenedetto comes out to snatch it out of the air.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Finnegan as she was able to put pressure on DeLoyer and force the turnover, but not able to get any further than that.
Bracic waits for that one right around midfield and plays it toward the box, but Paulino there waiting for it. Kicks it out toward midfield for Finnegan. She gives it up to Bresny. Ball now back with Finnegan, who tried to play Scarmanzino ahead, but that one too far ahead. Throw in for the Dolphins.
Fisher wants the lawyer to move back a little bit for the throw-in.
Throw-in is taken to Adriana Perello. Right back to DeLoyer, who's dispossessed quickly by Scarmazzino. She crosses one in front. I think that was off the foot of Martins. Ball stays in play with the Devils as Scarmazzino looking for Lombardi. That one cleared away for a moment by the Dolphins. Devils get it right back. Finnegan passes inside to Scarmazzino. Martins tried to win possession, could not, and the ball finds its way to Kayla DiBenedetto.
Yeah, a little bit of sustained pressure that time, Joe, by the Devils as they're able to get that shot on net and really do a nice job of putting pressure on that Dolphin defense and creating a couple of turnovers deep inside the Dolphins' defensive zone.
Very back and forth start to this game. Both teams have had their opportunities as Pelinkovic ahead of the field, giving chase a couple of Devils, and looked like one did get there, but Pelinkovic did fire that one toward goal. I believe that was a shot on goal, and it is saved by Paulino.
Yeah, you know, you're right, Joe. It has been a game that's had opportunities here for both teams, and both teams getting a little close, but not able to get that finishing touch as of yet.
Shots on goal 3-1 in favor of the Dolphins as Pelinkovic gives chase, and Paulino just gets there in time to clear that one away. If Paulino thought about that one for even a second longer, Masada Pelinkovic had a chance to score, as did, I believe, Victoria Sanchez, who was there as well. Two Dolphins were ahead of the field and chasing that ball in front, but Paulino gets there and keeps this game scoreless for now as the Dolphins move it across the back line. Ball now finds its way into the midfield and cleared back toward the Dolphins' defense once again. Scarmazzino gives it up to Finnegan. Finnegan dispossessed as DeLoyer looks to move ahead on the attack. And that's over the near sideline. Dolphins throwing upcoming.
Yeah, DeLoyer had missed a little bit of time with a leg injury as well, Joe, and really a welcome addition back to the team. One of the key players, especially in the midfield and on defense for the Dolphins.
We see that left hamstring quad area taped as Perello is dispossessed by Scarmazzino. Lawrence Smith with it, gives it up to Perello as the Dolphins gain possession back quickly. Mignon, quick one-touch pass to Perello, who goes down. She was looking for Bracic on the outside as Mulligan battles with Martins for possession. Devils come away with it. That pass intended for Lombardi, too far ahead as it rolls into the arms of Kayla DiBenedetto.
Yeah, so DiBenedetto comes out and makes the play on the ball, and now she'll put it back in play up the near sideline.
That one punted out toward midfield. Wound up with the Devils, and DeLoyer had it for a moment but couldn't keep possession as that's fired toward goal by Madeline Finnegan and easily saved by DiBenedetto.
Yeah, two hopper on goal that time. Easy save for Kayla.
Bracic keeps it in along the far sideline, finds Mignon. Mignon moves ahead. That ball towards Sanchez, and Sanchez almost able to get there as shielding her off from that ball, I believe, was Sydney Weber. just kept her away from it long enough to allow Paulino to grab it out of the air.
Yeah, and, you know, you see for a team that hasn't allowed very many goals, Joe, throughout the year, Dolphins have been able to create a few problems back in the Devils' defense. They haven't just been able to find a way to finish.
Here come the Devils on the attack. This is Cuccinelli looking toward the middle of the box as the official blows his whistle. I think she was looking for Lombardi on that pass. A collision took place at the top of the box.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul called on the Devils, so it'll be an opportunity for a free kick here for the Dolphins.
Free kick to be taken at the spot of that last foul call right at the top of the box. Mulligan will take it. Ball finds Bracic. Bracic moves toward the inside. Gives it up to Lawrence Smith, and coming to get it is Victoria Sanchez. That one over the head of Rosa on the back line. No Dolphin there as Aparicio gives chase, but she runs out of real estate, throwing for the Devils.
Yeah, long run that time for Lisbeth up the far sideline, but the ball out of bounds, but Dolphins regain possession.
And that one finds the foot of Victoria Sanchez in a dangerous spot as once again she's boxed out, kept off of that ball by Sydney Weber. A good defensive play after a nearly disastrous miscue for the Devils as now DiStefano's caught tying her shoe. And
I don't think that's what she's doing, Joe.
She stays down on one knee. I thought she was tying her shoe anyway as the Dolphins. Yeah, that's an injury, Mike. You're right about that. I thought she was down tying her shoe. Her posture deceived me as she'll head to the bench quickly. The official stops the clock, and I think she was trying to untie her shoe, Mike, as it might be some sort of foot injury.
Yeah,
that was it.
She did come off the field under her own power, so hopefully she's okay. The Dolphins, as we mentioned already, Joe, shorthanded here this afternoon, and now DiStefano comes off the field.
Well, we'll find out shortly what the issue was, I'm sure. If it was an injury, I'm sure we will receive word. Either way, Dolphins will wind up with possession as I think a goal kick was awarded. That ball wound up rolling over the touchline.
And the wind, Joe, in the first half at the Devils' back, and wind a little heavier here this afternoon, and advantage for the Devils with the wind at their back here in this first half.
And I believe the foul is called there on Mullins going over the back of Sanchez to head that ball. Free kick for the Dolphins along the near sideline. Looks like Perello will take it. 15 minutes gone by so far in this first half. Still no score between the Dolphins and Devils. A competitive back-and-forth game thus far.
Yeah, you know, there's been a lot of opportunities, Joe, for both teams. Not that much play in the midfield, but both teams able to break in the opponent's defense and, you know, get a few opportunities from the center of the field.
You said it, Mike. Not a lot of play in the midfield. Some quick developing chances for both sides off of some long passes up ahead. We haven't seen too much sustained passing. It's been one ball over the top or along the sideline setting up an attacker quickly. That's been the story of the first 15 minutes thus far. Some good defensive plays by both sides as well. We've seen some good chances for both teams, but no exceptional chance yet as the Devils will look for that first exceptional chance. They lose possession quickly. Now fighting for it is Cuccinelli against Aparicio. That one punted in toward the box by Bresny. And that one toward goal and in right by Kayla DiBenedetto. Perhaps wasn't ready for that shot. And it is the Devils getting on the scoreboard first, and how quickly they struck as scoring the goal was number 7, Erica Martins.
Yeah, you know, that time it was a turnover by Aparicio up along the far sidelines, and then the Devils were able to regain possession, and they got it into Martins once again. And, you know, she's had opportunities here in the first half. This time she didn't miss. As the ball deflected once, she one-timed it in toward the near post for the goal. A big goal here for the Devils as they take a 1-0 lead.
And how quickly that chance developed, as I just mentioned, Mike, some quickly developing attacks for both teams. Devils got the ball moving forward on one that was sent up into the air toward the penalty area. Dolphins initially turning it over and connecting on the volley and scoring was Erica Martins, as I see you're looking for those goal-scoring numbers for Martins. But the Dolphins now trail 1-0. After a very back and forth first 15 minutes, it's FDU-Florham striking first.
So that's going to be the 4th goal for Martins on the year, and we'll wait and see if there's an assist given credit. The ball was chipped into the Dolphin penalty area. It was deflected off a CSI defender over to Martins, who was able to put the ball in the net for the goal.
And 3 substitutions come to the scorers table for FDU-Florham as we hit 28 minutes to go in the first half. Foul was called against the Dolphins.
And checking in for the Devils at the next opportunity will be Amanda Croce, Tatana Nieto, and Nicolette Roberts. And we mentioned Nieto and Croce moments ago, Joe, 2 of the leading scorers from the Devils, who will both be coming off the bench today with the Devils already with a 1-0 lead.
That one fired wide by Madeline Finnegan, as we do have a whistle and the substitutions will enter. Players coming out of the game will be Madeline Finnegan, Kasha Lombardi, and Carly Bresney.
Yeah, so a good start for the Devils. They'll have an opportunity to bring some of their leading scorers into the game, having already taken a 1-0 lead.
Interesting, those substitutions occurred as soon as that first goal was scored. Once that goal was registered, those 3 substitutions came straight over to the scorers table to check in. We'll see if there's any noticeable difference in the FDU-Florham attacking play. And as I said before, the Dolphins have had their chances as well. We're about a stride or 2 away from the best shots of the game on more than one occasion in this first half. And it was Devils goalkeeper Ashley Paulino beating CSI to the ball by just a stride or 2, as I just mentioned. It's Victoria Sanchez working on the far sideline right here against a pair of Devils. And Sanchez once again boxed out and kept off of the ball, throw-in for FDU-Florham. Shot totals 4 per side, 3 shots on goal for each side as well.
Yeah, and you knew, Joe, that both teams had opportunities, and one of these teams was going to be able to take advantage of it. Devils did it first, and since they've scored that goal, they've really started to build on that momentum.
We've seen a lot more play to our right than to our left over the last few minutes. Of course, to our right, the Dolphins goal that the Devils registered the first goal of this game on is fighting for possession in the corner is Palinkovic, and that rolls over the touchline. Goal kick upcoming for FDU-Florham.
Yeah, so Palinkovic going in and trying to create a little havoc on the Devils' defensive end, but ball played out of bounds, so free kick coming up here for FDU.
And it looks like Paulino will take the goal kick for FDU-Florham.
We have an opportunity to get an update in women's soccer. The CCNY Beavers up on Medgar Evers by a score of 3-0 as Medgar Evers continuing to struggle here in 2018 in the women's soccer side and struggling on the men's side too as well, Joe.
And it looks like the Beavers will indeed remain unbeaten in the CUNYAC, and if that is their last conference matchup before this Saturday, they'll enter that matchup against CSI, CUNYAC game of the week, with both teams unbeaten in the CUNYAC. As this one's crossed in front, giving chase is Lauren Smith, but that ball tailed behind her. Looks like she might be able to knock that one down in front as Sanchez looks to dribble by a pair of defenders, and I think it was the Devils that got the last foot on that. We'll see.
Yeah, the Dolphins will remain in control with the throw-in, Joe, but a couple opportunities that the Dolphins just haven't been able to capitalize here so far during the first half, but they continue to play well and continue to present themselves. They just have to find that finishing touch.
Deloy to throw in. That's over the head of Victoria Sanchez, and quickly clearing that one away was Mullins. And Mersada Palinkovic will take this next throw-in as Brittany Caceres made that call from the bench to have Palinkovic throw it. Bit longer on that throw-in as Lauren Smith couldn't get there to keep possession for the Dolphins in the final third. And Elizabeth Aparicio will simply punt that one ahead over the touchline. Another goal kick upcoming for the Devils.
Looking back, Joe, at women's CUNYAC action from over the weekend, CCNY handled Brooklyn fairly easily, 5-1. Newman beat Staten Island, as you mentioned, and Pine Manor over Medgar Evers. And then on Sunday, St. Joe's Long Island was able to defeat York. So those were the last matches within the CUNYAC conference. And, you know, most of those games outside the conference, so not affecting the team's seeding for the upcoming tournament.
Dolphins with possession along the far sideline. It's Aparicio moving forward. Her pass partially blocked by Roberts, but it finds its way through as Bracic comes away with the ball. Working against Roberts, gives it up to Aparicio. Aparicio back to Bracic, who chips it up in the air toward the middle of the field. Sanchez gets a foot on it. DiStefano fighting for it against Croce. That one off the head of Perello, rolling ahead of a couple of Devils, but DeLoya cuts that ball off and gets it over to DiStefano. Aparicio into the midfield circle for Smith. Smith dribbling ahead, looking for Sanchez, and that's cut off nicely in the back. A good defensive play there by Lions. That gets through. It's trouble.
Yeah, just a step away, Joe, like you mentioned.
Dolphins have been just a step away several times now in this first half. We've seen some good attacking play from CSI, but hasn't resulted in a goal yet. As we've seen the Devils do this quite a bit, just kick the ball as far as they can into that final third of the field and then give chase. We haven't seen much targeted passing, but that attacking approach has worked out for them as they've been able to run down a lot of those long balls into the attacking third. And that's deflected out of play over the far sideline. Throw in for the Dolphins.
Should mention, Joe, just minutes away from the start of a big conference game over in Brooklyn as the men's team will face Brooklyn College here this afternoon. The Dolphins looking to continue their extremely impressive conference performance. The only goal that they've allowed all year in conference play came on a disputed penalty kick at the end of their last game against York College, game in which they won 16-1. So big opportunity there for the Dolphins and a nice save, but the men's soccer team playing extremely well, and they'll be tested here this afternoon.
And we'll see how they fare. We saw them play very well at Rutgers Newark, a team that when we covered them against the Dolphins lost that game big. I believe it was a 5-goal loss, and unfortunately Dolphins couldn't come away with a victory against the Scarlet Raiders this year either, but a competitive 2-1 game that ended on a penalty kick as once again the Dolphins forced to chase a ball down in the back. That one played toward the middle of the field over to Croce. Croce gives it up to Martins, who's working against Aparicio. Both players fighting for it. Now Roberts comes up to meet that ball from Martins, dribbling with speed along the far sideline. Aparicio keeping her sealed to the outside, but she's able to get rid of it to Martins. That one off the knees of De Benedetto, and second shot attempt is high off the foot of Erica Martins, and I think we'll have an injury stoppage here as the clock is indeed stopped. Player down for the Devils.
Yeah, 19:54 remaining, Joe, as one of the Devils goes down on the play and the official blows the whistle, so she'll come back off the field. I'm looking to get the number. I believe it's number 5, Joe, and that's Sydney Weber, who will come off the field. So both teams 4 shots on goal apiece here, Joe, but the Devils with the 1 goal, and they lead 1-0 as we're here in the 26th minute of the first half.
So we had an injury substitution. Carly Mullins exits with the injury, and the injury substitution was number 17, Marisol Rosario. So Rosario from Mullins just inside of 20 minutes to go in the first half as a foul is called in the final third of the field, and I think it's going to be a big free kick opportunity for the Devils. It will be, and certainly a chance to put a shot on goal in this spot.
Yeah, golden scoring opportunity coming up here for the Devils, as you might have seen on your screen. Cougars now trailing by a score of 5-0, so CCNY well on their way to their 7th victory overall and their 3rd victory in the conference. Big opportunity here coming up for Nieto. Remember, Joe, she has 8 assists on the year.
So Tatiana Nieto sets up to take this free kick. 3 Dolphins forming a wall in front of her. And that one well wide as it curved around the wall, but I'm not sure it curved around the wall in the direction she was hoping. As that shot well wide, and you mentioned CCNY should be improving to 3-0 in the CUNYAC by the end of the day. Dolphins would need to win this game to keep pace in the win column overall. Not that that number is of any great importance, but both teams playing for their 7th win right now, and it seems that the Beavers will get it. Dolphins trailing by a goal, still plenty of time to make some progress towards win number 7 in this one. 18.5 minutes to go in the first half. Dolphins trailing 1-0. Once again, a short goal kick taken by Mulligan, given up to Aparicio, who nearly turned it over on that pass. Now she's forced to fight for possession as Mulligan kicks it toward the far sideline up in the air. And that's over the touchline. Roberts trying to pass it back. Weakley kicked it over the far sideline. Bracic giving chase, and it's once again Paulino who goes a long way to get on top of that ball. That one just beyond midfield on the punt by Paulino, and that ball over the far sideline thrown for the Dolphins.
Yeah, so both teams trying to stabilize defensively a little bit here, Joe, and stop the opponent from running through the penalty area. So a little bit of a lull in the offensive attacks here for both teams. Dolphins looking to be able to put some sustained pressure on, and you know, both teams really haven't had sustained attacks here throughout the afternoon, or been able to sustain much in their short passing games. It's been some balls into the box and some open opportunities. So we'll see what the Dolphins can continue to do here in the first half.
And for the Dolphins, their best chances haven't been shots on goal. Their best chances have been balls that they've tried to chase down in front and simply not gotten there in time. As you get a look at the shot totals for both sides, Devils with 7 and Dolphins with 5. But on the topic of shots, the Devils' best chances have been their shots on goal and toward goal. Of course, they finally broke through and scored the first goal of this game in this first half, but their best opportunities have been shots. The Dolphins' best chances have not resulted in shots, so CSI will look to put a bit more pressure on Ashley Paulino moving forward in this game. Devils' goal came right at the end of the 16th minute in this first half. Of course, no scoring since, as the score remains 1-0 in favor of FDU-Florham. Dolphins will throw in once again, backed up into the final third of the field there.
And the Devils have done a good job all afternoon, Joe, of really pressuring the Dolphins deep inside their defensive zone. Their one goal came off of a Dolphin turnover and then a deflection inside the penalty area. So FDU really pressuring the Dolphin defense. And, you know, we don't usually see the Dolphin defense commit those kind of giveaways, but you got to give a lot of credit to the Devils, who've been doing a good job all afternoon.
We spoke about it in the pregame. The Devils, a team that comes in averaging under a goal allowed per game so far this season. You won't see a number like that very often unless you're exerting that kind of defensive pressure the entire length of the field. And we've certainly seen that from FDU-Florham in this game, as we have a Dolphins substitution. It will be number 23, Samantha Lapardo, who scored the lone Dolphins goal at Newman, and she will replace Victoria Sanchez.
Yeah, another freshman player for the Dolphins, Joe, that's shown the ability to be creative and put the ball towards goal and in goal. And Dolphins looking for that here this afternoon with Laval out of the starting lineup.
Dolphins moving the ball around quickly in the midfield. Pardo gets her first touch, quickly gives it up to Deloya. Deloya looking to keep it in and able to knock that ball off of Brianna Cuccinelli. Deloya's throw in towards Mersada Palinkovic. Coming away with it is the Devils, as Mulligan tries to win it for the Dolphins in the midfield. Made contact with the Devils player who's giving chase to that ball, and now FDU comes away with it. The attacker on sides, making her run. That was Cuccinelli, as we have a whistle blown.
Yeah, I think we're going to have an offsides call on the play, Joe.
Guess she wasn't.
I'm not really sure, but that time Di Stefano kind of stepped on the ball a little bit, Joe, and turned it over in midfield, and then was limping a little bit heading back defensively. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. She already had to come out of the game momentarily earlier in this first half.
That offside's number 4 for the Devils. And I was looking at the line judge. Didn't see the flag go up until that pass had already been made a couple of seconds before. So offsides was indeed the call as Mignon fights for it against Weber, and a foul is called against Weber. That foul, I believe, number 3. And it indeed is number 3 for the Devils. Both teams with 3 fouls thus far in the first half. 13.5 minutes to go in half number 1. It's Lepardo looking to weave her way through the Devils' defense. Unable to do so. Ball winds up with DeLoya. Perello now moving toward the near sideline. Gives it up to DiStefano. Ball nearly got by DiStefano. She's forced to move it back to Mulligan. And now Mulligan passes over to DiBenedetto. Short ball there by DiBenedetto for Aparicio. It's Mulligan with it now. Moves it ahead. Bracic working along the far sideline. Challenged on that last play by Roberts, as that's up in the air toward midfield. Bracic once again working against Roberts. Rosario got a foot on it as well, and it's a throw-in for the Devils. Throw-in over the head of Martins, finds the foot of Catherine Mulligan, who looked to play it toward midfield, but it's the Devils coming away with it again. Long ball from the back. We've seen this more than once, Mike, as Martins gives chase. She had a step on Aparicio, but a weak pass in toward the box, intercepted by DiStefano.
Yeah, that time a quick turnaround by the Devils, trying to convert defense into offense, but couldn't get the play inside the penalty area. So the ball gets knocked out of bounds, and it'll be an opportunity here for a throw-in for the Dolphins. And Devils have given the Dolphins problems in their defensive end on these throw-ins.
I think it was Derry Lyons who attempted that long pass. And as I said before, we've seen that more than once in this game where a long pass has turned into a quick opportunity for the Devils. Really haven't moved the ball incrementally upfield. It's been one long ball into an attack, and that's been the best of their attacking play so far in this game. They've sustained some pretty good pressure on the Dolphins thus far in this one. So far, it's only yielded 1 goal for them as they're fighting for possession right around the box here, and coming away with it for a moment was Nieto, now working against a pair of Dolphins. It's DeLoya looking for Lepardo. DeLoya still trying to get possession of it, could not. She went down, and that's over the near sideline. Throw in for the Devils.
So Erica Pita will now check into the game. Pita, the leading goal scorer, will check in for the Devils. So the Devils substitute in a little bit more firepower here, Joe, for the last 11 minutes of this first half.
Dolphins have only made 1 substitution so far in this game. Devils have made several. See if fresh legs pay dividends late in this first half as we're approaching 10.5 minutes to go in half number 1. Count 5 substitutions so far for FDU-Florham as opposed to only 1 for the College of Staten Island. As this ball moves toward the midfield circle, it's Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic looking for Lepardo on that last pass. It's emphatically knocked away. Devils coming away with it. And I'm not sure if it was an offsides call or a foul. Didn't catch it. It's a foul. Didn't see a flag up. Should have known that, but double-checked with the scorer's table. Tom Krichkowski right on it for us, as it will be a free kick for the Dolphins to be taken by Catherine Mulligan. Long free kick by Mulligan. That's over everyone. Cleared away for a moment by Lyons, and the Devils win the ball in the midfield. That pass intended for Nieto as DeLoya looks to cut her off and clears it over the near sideline.
Yeah, that time Nieto putting pressure on DeLoya and Rebecca clearing it over the near touchline. So throw in here for the Devils deep inside Dolphins territory.
Beginning to see fewer chances for the Dolphins over the last few minutes, about 10 or 15 minutes. That's in toward the middle of the box, cleared away by Mignon. Body check there issued by Mirsada Pelinkovic, and she's called for the foul.
Yeah, so a opportunity here for the Devils in pretty good position to run a set piece here and get an opportunity at goal. So we'll see how they handle it here. They had a earlier free kick opportunity, Joe, from good scoring position, but the shot by Nieto went wide.
Derry Lions to take the free kick. And 3 players breaking toward that far post for the Devils. None of them able to make contact with that ball, but coming away with it is Pita. And she fires that one off the hand of De Benedetto, then off the head of another Devils player. That was Cuccinelli, and cleared away and out of danger. Possession remains with the Devils. A dangerous moment there for the Dolphins.
Sure was. Big opportunity there for the Devils, knocked away by the Dolphins and out of bounds. But the Devils have the pressure on, and they'll have a throw-in now deep inside Dolphin territory.
I'm not certain it was De Benedetto, but it appeared as if De Benedetto barely got a glove on it, as that shot by Pita from a tough angle, but a very dangerous spot.
So we have an opportunity to look at this again. Once again, the Devils turning towards goal, and
that was off the crossbar as we have a collision in front. De Benedetto comes away with the ball and goes down. So that wasn't off De Benedetto's hand, Mike. That was off the crossbar. Nearly found its way in.
Yeah, so the Dolphins very fortunate as we get one more look, and again, a nice play to turn in towards goal, put it in. Had opportunity and had space, but clanged it off the crossbar, and Dolphins able to clear it away from there. So Dolphins dodge a bullet there and remain down by a score of 1-0.
Dolphins very fortunate to be trailing by only a goal after that last sequence. But they're able to escape as they intercept that pass ahead. Now Lepardo moving forward. Looking for Bracic, and Roberts comes screaming down and intercepts that pass. Clearing it a long ways ahead, and De Benedetto takes that one away from a diving Devils player. I think that was Croce. Looked like she was about to dive on top of that arms first. She barely got out of the way, and that one headed over towards Cuccinelli. Croce has it working against Di Stefano. Plays it toward the inside. Now Cuccinelli into the penalty area for Pita. Devils moving in toward the penalty area once again as De Benedetto able to pick that one up.
Yeah, and that was probably the best series of offensive passes for either team here this afternoon. And Devils did a nice job working the ball across the penalty area and really just a step or two away from getting a big opportunity at goal. But nice job that time on that possession by the Devils.
Kate McMillan enters for Brianna Cuccinelli, and for the Dolphins, it's Dimitra Tuntas for Nermina Bracic. So the Dolphins making their second substitution of this game. For the Devils, that is substitution number 6.
Yeah, and Joe, the Dolphins have been stuck on 4 shots on goal for a long time, and it's been a long time since they had a really decent opportunity at the net. So let's see if the Dolphins can mount a little offense here in the last 5.5 minutes.
Before I mentioned the impact of fresh legs for the Devils, many substitutions already made in this game by FDU-Florham, and we've seen the chances now favoring the Devils over the last few minutes. Dolphins finally getting some attacking play here as Mignon has nobody home on that pass in between Lepardo and Pelinkovic.
Yeah, and of course, head coach Kristen Giada bringing some of her leading scorers off the bench, so that puts even more pressure on the Dolphins. Here we go.
This is trouble as Croce put it by De Benedetto, but that one high. Off of the crossbar again, Mike.
Boy, Joe, it's hard to imagine how she missed that one. She came in wide open as we look at it again. As Croce comes in on goal, had the whole net. De Benedetto kind of fell toward the near post, and the shot went to the far post. But very fortunate for the Dolphins that skimmed off the top of the crossbar and went over the net. So a couple of opportunities for the Devils where they don't register a shot on goal but do hit iron. And the Dolphins still fortunate, down just 1-0.
And it's not often I say this, but I think the Dolphins right now could really use halftime to regroup. That nearly a costly miscue. Another great chance just before that for the Devils as Lepardo able to give it up to Pelinkovic. Chance for the Dolphins now as that one is off the post. What a shot by Lauren Smith, and so much for regrouping as Lauren Smith nearly evened this game up with a great shot. That one off of the near post as Paulino fully extended toward that post trying to make the save. Couldn't get there, but fortunately for her, it finds iron instead of the back of the net, and the Dolphins very quickly rebounding from that last near score. Here's another look.
Yeah, Smith from just in the top of the penalty area clangs that one off the post, so a big opportunity there for the Dolphins, and now the Devils look to counter.
Well, that woke up the Dolphins faithful here at the CSI Soccer Complex. That's about as much of a reaction as we've had from the fans assembled here in this one. Just over 3 minutes to go in the first half. And we'll have a substitution. Or not. We'll have to wait just a little while longer as the Dolphins had possession of it for a moment, and we'll get it right back on this throw-in.
Yeah, so the Dolphins trying to close this first half with some momentum. Down just a single goal. Nearly had the equalizer just moments ago, and now looking to put the pressure on.
If that shot had found the back of the net, it would have been a remarkable goal for Lauren Smith, as I think that's Mignon who just got taken down, and a foul is called.
So we have an update from Brooklyn College as the Dolphins and the Bulldogs still level at 0. Probably about 15 minutes or so into the first half.
And we'll keep you updated on that game throughout our time on air from the CSI Soccer Complex this afternoon.
As you see the time up on your scoreboard. Sorry, Joe, that's the unofficial time. The official time kept on the field.
That one finds Pelinkovic, and ball is loose in front. And the flag goes up.
Yeah, a little bit of a collision that time with Paulino, and pretty much any time you collide with the goalie, Joe, in the penalty area, will always be a foul on the offense.
Should be about 46 minutes on the clock on your screen when this first half comes to a close, as we have 1:40 to go in the first half. And here come the Devils once again. De Benedetto, though, coming out, a hard touch by Pita, and that allowed De Benedetto to get there first.
Yeah, and Mulligan doing just enough to ride the Devils off the ball and allowed De Benedetto to come out and make the play.
Punted out toward midfield, knocked down by Nieto. Both teams now working around the midfield to gain possession, and throw-in is awarded to the Devils, as now we'll have that substitution coming on.
So Daniel Matos will check in. Sydney Weber will check out for the Devils inside the last minute.
50 seconds to go in the first half. Throw-in upcoming for the Devils. They'll be looking for one last opportunity in this first half, leading by a goal. Teams fight for possession off of the throw-in, as that's played in toward the penalty area by Scarmazzino, cleared away by the Dolphins. Dolphins perhaps looking for one last chance of their own. It's Lauren Smith coming away with it. Gives it up to Adriana Perello, and here come the Dolphins. 24 seconds to go in the first half. Perello moves toward the near sideline. Looking to work it back inside. Finds Lauren Smith. Smith up to Lepardo. 13 seconds to go in the half. Dolphins throwing upcoming as CSI looks like they will run out of time. Deloya throws toward Pelinkovic onto the foot of Smith. And Smith will fire one toward goal as Nicole Mignon ducked out of the way, anticipating a shot. No shot was forthcoming, and that is the end of the first half. FDU-Florham leading the College of Staten Island 1-0. Quickly, Mike, takeaways from the first half.
Yeah, you know, it was a good game. It was an entertaining first half of play. You know, FDU with a little bit of the better of the play, Joe, and the Dolphins find themselves fortunate, I think, to be down just 1-0. Plenty of opportunities for the Dolphins upcoming here in the second half. Just one touch away from tying up this game.
And when Mike and I come back, we will have halftime stats, analysis of the first half. We'll check in on men's soccer and have a preview of half number 2. When we come back on CSI Sportsnet, more NCAA Division III women's soccer. Our score at halftime: Dolphins trail the Devils 1-0.
Show evil, though it might I got a creak in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. All I want is to get on. But if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
I remember, Dad, you and Mom got this car with a hatchback. I said, you know, I'd be happy to give you the money to get a really great car. And he said, well, no, this works for me. I says, why? Because it's the right height to put the meals in. Dad, tell me when you first got an inkling about Meals on Wheels.
There was kind of an abandoned house. That's where we got started with Meals on Wheels. We kind of filled a need for people as they got older.
It's the human interaction that probably fed them much more than the food.
Oh, yeah. When you can see somebody else benefiting by your life in some way, you can't help but feel good about it, I think.
Well, the reason I'm involved, Dad, is because you are, and you're so inspiring. How you've impacted people is enormous.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
Dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Surprise!
Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do him like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
First time I tried Vicodin, it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Don't worry, the
74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it. No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
And we're back from the CSI Soccer Complex. It is halftime between the Dolphins and Devils. Our score, FDU-Florham 1, College of Staten Island 0. A very back-and-forth first half early on, Mike, but the Devils really seized control later in the half. The Dolphins with a brief flurry on the attack late, but it wasn't enough to break through the goal. Lauren Smith came the closest, hit the post on her last shot attempt of that first half, the last Dolphin shot attempt of that half, and after that, no more significant chances for either side as we head into halftime 1-0.
Yeah, and the Dolphins clearly missing Samantha Laval. Laval is the kind of player that would find a way to take an opportunity of some of these loose balls, especially early in the half. Is you have an opportunity to see the goal there. Is it was Martin stepping forward, getting rid of the Dolphin turnover, and being able to put the ball in the net, and then you see another opportunity by Martins where she put the ball over the net. As you're taking a look at the opportunities that FDU-Florham had there, it was the first time they hit the ball off the crossbar. And this is Croce, Joe, putting the ball just over the crossbar toward the end of the first half. And then the Dolphins with their biggest opportunity coming with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first half, or 3 minutes, I should say, when Lauren Smith was able to get a long shot, as you have an opportunity to see it here, as she rang that one off the crossbar, trying to arc it into the far post. So very exciting first half, a lot of exciting highlights. The Dolphins with a couple of missed opportunities early in the first half. Like you mentioned, as the half went along, it was FDU-Florham continuing to get the better of the opportunities, but yet the Dolphins came just inches away from tying it up with just over 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
And that first half highlight package, courtesy of Dave Pizzuto, our engineer, extensive look at the first half highlights. And what a lot of those highlights had in common, it was FDU-Florham on the attack. As I mentioned during the first half, most of the opportunities for FDU-Florham came in the result of shots. For the Dolphins, they had that great-looking shot by Lauren Smith. Unfortunately, wasn't a shot on goal, ended up hitting the post. But CSI was about a step away from reaching a couple of balls and that had a chance to turn into goals should they have gotten there. Unfortunately for them, Ashley Polino right on top of most of those. As you get a look at the full halftime stats for both sides, FDU-Florham with a 3-shot lead. Dolphins, however, with the shots on goal advantage through one half of play. Only one corner in this game belonging to the Devils. Both teams with 5 fouls, and FDU-Florham with 4 offsides as opposed to none for the College of Staten Island. So really you take a look at the stats, and they indicate a back-and-forth game, and that's the kind of game it's been so far through one half of play, though. As I said, the Devils' chances have been very good chances, quality shots, a couple of those not registering as shots on goal because they hit the crossbar, and what a different game it could be if those shots were converted.
Yeah, and if looking at it on the Dolphins side, as you see CCNY in control against Baker Evans in the first half, as Cougars continuing to struggle. And I know, Joe, when we played them here, a game that we did not bring to you, they showed up with just 10 players. So, a struggle for Baker Evans. You got to give them a lot of credit for continuing to come out and play. John Jay went up early in the first half, 1-0 against the College of St. Elizabeth. They're holding on to that 1-0 lead here. So a couple of other non-conference games going on in the men's game over in Brooklyn College, continuing to be scoreless. Of course, a lot more of a challenge against Brooklyn College, and Of course, the Dolphins coming off of that huge 16-goal explosion here at home against York College over the weekend, Joe.
And we've seen some great conference play by both the men's and women's soccer teams. The men have only allowed that one goal, as you mentioned, to York College, came in the form of a penalty. The women yet to allow a goal in conference play so far this season. They have a matchup this weekend upcoming with CCNY, and we'll talk more about that when we come back from break. About 4.5 minutes to go until the start of the second half. Dolphins trail the Devils 1-0 at halftime. Mike and I rejoin you on the other side of this break.
Oh, listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun?
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
And we're back from the CSI Soccer Complex, about 45 seconds away from the start of the second half. CSI trailing FDU-Florham by a score of 1-0. And before we went to break, we were talking about the upcoming CUNYAC Conference matchup this year. In the game of the week, the College of Staten Island women take on CCNY. The Beavers will improve to 3-0 in the CUNYAC once that game with Medgar Evers wraps up. Also a men's soccer game this Saturday as well. And in the men's CUNYAC game of the week, CSI takes on Hunter. That game begins at 12 p.m. So a men's and women's soccer doubleheader beginning this Saturday. Our coverage starts at 11:45 a.m. this Saturday. So a lot to look forward to this weekend here at the CSI Soccer Complex, and an entertaining second half to look forward to in this matchup between the Dolphins and Devils, Mike.
Yeah, Dolphins finding themselves down by just a goal, so just one play away from tying up the game. And, if you're the Dolphins, you're looking to tighten things up a little bit, especially in the center of the defense. Get yourselves a couple of opportunities. And, the Dolphins have had opportunities, Joe, inside the center of the Devils' defense, but haven't been able to get that final touch that they've been looking for. Let's see if they can get it here in the second half.
We've seen some long passes and clearances by the Devils turn into opportunities quickly. The Dolphins, as I said before, have been a step or two away from seeing similar opportunities of their own, but unfortunately none of those have resulted in shots yet. Their best chances coming early in that first half, and then off the foot of Lauren Smith, one great shot opportunity late in the first half as her shot hit off of the post. And we are underway here at the CSI Soccer Complex. Start of the second half, Devils and Dolphins. FDU-Florham leads 1-0. And they will possess the ball along the far sideline for just a moment before turning it over back to the College of Staten Island. It's Pelinkovic over towards Victoria Sanchez. Sanchez working against Roberts. And Roberts will clear it away over the near sideline. Dolphins throw in.
Yeah, and the flag's not very moving very much right now, Joe, but what little wind there is will be at the Dolphin back here in the second half.
That one punted up in front by Pelinkovic toward Brocic. She has to chase it down. Brocic back to Deloya. Deloya dispossessed, and here come the Devils moving toward midfield. Deloya chasing the play down once again as down goes Devils player. I believe that was Scarmazzino, number 33, and she stays down as the clock is stopped with 44:02 to go in the second half.
Yeah, so an injury timeout, less than a minute here into the first half as you get a scoring update in the 33rd minute. Still remains level. Brooklyn and CCI, both teams looking to get on the scoreboard. And, Brooklyn College coming out, and, they always have a quality team, Joe, and they're playing very well at home this afternoon. And, these games are so pivotal as we have an opportunity to take a look at the men's CUNYAC soccer standings. Staten Island coming in with a 4-0 record. Baruch right behind him at 3-0. Lehman at 3-1. Brooklyn at 2-1. Hunter 1-1-1. John Jay 1-2. So those are the teams at the top of the table. So you can see how huge this game is with a win here against CSI. Brooklyn College will jump right up toward the top of the table. Staten Island could put themselves 2 games in front of Brooklyn with a win here this afternoon. So like all of these conference games, a huge swing game here this afternoon.
Every conference game of great importance. We have 2 of those on Saturday, so be sure to tune in then. And as I said before, we'll continue to update you on that game between the Bulldogs and Dolphins taking place right now at Brooklyn. And it appears that we are ready to resume action here from the College of Staten Island.
Plenty of other CUNYAC games on the schedule here. Baruch at York will play later this evening. John Jay at Western Connecticut State. CCNY at Medgar Evers, and Lehman at Hunter. That Lehman at Hunter game, Joe, another interesting one. That game well underway, and we'll see if we can get you an update at some point.
I'll check to see if there are some live stats for that game on CUNY's website when we get a moment, as that one's punted up in the air toward the near sideline. Headed away by Finnegan toward the middle of the field. Weber got a foot on it, and it will be De Benedetto receiving the pass from Mulligan. She kicks it out into the midfield circle. That's off the head of Bresny. Ball falls down into the midfield circle as Bresny and Mignon collide. It's Mignon coming away with it. Brocic looking to move forward. Ball towards Smith and Sanchez, but a bit too long. And it's Ashley Paulino scooping that one up. Paulino punts beyond the midfield circle. Headed up in the air by Croce. And now Martins looks to play it into the center of the box. But it's cleared away by the Dolphins. Now the Devils possess just beyond midfield along the far sideline. Weber passes to Martins, gets it right back, but Mignon intercepts. And now Martins looks to play it in toward the center of the field. Dolphins intercept the pass once again as Di Stefano able to find Brocic. Pair of Devils trying to chase Brocic down as she fights for it. Ends up losing possession to Marisol Rosario. Pass there intended for Croce. Winds up back in the midfield circle as Deloya passes that one toward Pelinkovic. Bracic comes away with it. Ball for Sanchez, intercepted by Lyons. Two teams battling for possession in the midfield. Once again, Dolphins come away with it. It's Perello. Perello moving forward with some speed. Finds Pelinkovic. Chance perhaps developing for the Dolphins here. Bracic had it for a moment on the outside corner of the box, but she's dispossessed, and it's cleared out toward midfield as that's chipped up in the air by Croce. Martin's fighting for possession with Deloya, and corner kick is the call.
Yeah, so Martin's the lone goal scorer of the game, forcing the corner kick. It's only the second corner, Joe, of the afternoon, both for the Devils.
First corner was well over the crowd assembled in front of the goal. That corner kicked on the other side back in the first half. Of course, team switching sides. We now shift our attention to our left with the Devils on the attack. About to take this corner kick. 41 minutes to go in the second half. Corner kick is in, a short one. Gets by Perello. And Mignon able to clear it out of the box in front. Shot attempt wide, and DiBenedetto will grab it. Rolls it softly to Mulligan in front. And that one did travel over the touchline, so I think this is a goal kick. As DiBenedetto grabbed that one after it was out of play. Either way, Dolphins have possession of it right now. Perello trying to get away from Croce. Ball finds its way to Deloya. That one gets by Pelinkovic, but Sanchez gives chase, and Roberts will get there first as Paulino with a long clearance. That was some clearance by Ashley Paulino. As Deloya battles Martins for possession.
You know, Joe, while we have a minute here, we'd like to extend our congratulations to Jason McFall and the coaching staff, the women's cross-country team at the CSI Invitational over the weekend at Clove Lake Park, finishing in first place and really finishing by a dominant margin, and Tristiana Agranata finishing fourth overall, and Brittany Brodnick finishing fifth, as the Dolphins really destroyed the field to win the CSI International. So a lot of exciting things happening on the women's cross-country side as the men continue to improve as well.
As I was on hand for that event, very grateful for the good weather we had as opposed to a couple of years ago where we had some miserable weather on the day of the CSI Invitational. As a miscue in the back by the Dolphins leads to a chance here, but DiBenedetto fortunate to see that ball roll right into her arms as Madeline Finnegan was bearing down on goal. Had a chance to get to that one first, but DiBenedetto off the last touch of that ball able to scoop it up, and that's headed straight up in the air. Dolphins again forced to retreat toward their own goal as DiStefano gives it up to DiBenedetto. She tries to clear it. Devils gain possession once again. That one fired toward goal, but high, shot off the foot of Finnegan.
Yeah, so Finnegan with a couple of opportunities here, Joe, in the last couple of minutes. That one, she fired over the crossbars. We have an opportunity to take another look at it as you see Finnegan looking to break through a couple of defenders, but that last touch too far ahead, and DiBenedetto decisively came out and made the play.
Devils keeping the pressure on the Dolphins, forcing them to retreat toward their own goal quite often in this game, especially outside of the first 15 minutes or so, as that's played into the box. DiBenedetto again forced to come off her line and grab it out of the air. Dolphins look to get back on the attack quickly. We've seen a lot of play to our left so far in the second half, and Aparicio can't go far with it as it's knocked over.
Sorry, Joe. FDU-Florham doing a very good job of pushing up and making things very difficult for the Dolphins, but here's an opportunity for Pelinkovic.
Pelinkovic turns quickly and was looking for Victoria Sanchez, who had a lot of real estate to work with, but the pass partially blocked as Perello finds Sanchez. Sanchez in toward Pelinkovic. That one chipped up in the air by Rosa. Several players giving chase, and it's cleared away by Carly Bresney.
Yeah, so a loose ball inside the penalty area, but the Dolphins can't find the handle on it. And now DiStefano forced to come back and knock it out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Devils.
The Dolphins got down the field quickly on the attack and immediately play back in the final third of the field, headed in the other direction as the Devils throw in. Quick turn there by Croce, fires toward goal just wide, but DiBenedetto appeared to be in position to make a save on that one.
Yeah, so the second opportunity for Croce, Joe, you remember earlier in the first half, she fired one just over the crossbar. That one goes wide as well, so it'll be a free kick upcoming here for the Dolphins.
Mulligan takes the goal kick toward Mignon. Mignon working against Weber, able to give it up to Lauren Smith. Smith looking for Pelinkovic, and waiting back there for it is Lyons, and she gives it up to Ashley Paulino in goal. Once again, long kick out beyond midfield by Paulino as DiStefano can't keep it in play. Throw in for the Devils.
Yeah, so the Devils once again with possession, and, you know, through the first 9 minutes or so, Joe, here in the second half, possession really dominated so far by the Devils.
It has been all FDU-Florham in the second half. Dolphins still looking for their first shot of the half as a foul is called, and we will head back the other way.
Yeah, pretty clear push in the back that time by Finnegan will get the Dolphins a free kick, and Dolphins have had problems playing the ball from their penalty area. Let's see how they do here.
Sanchez with a chance to keep it in, but can't get there as Roberts tried to jump that pass and ran straight by the ball. Gave Sanchez an opportunity, but a bad bounce for the Dolphins is once again headed back in the other direction as Mulligan will let it roll over the near sideline. And they'll take a ball from beyond the fence behind us. The official will move Aparicio back. She throws into Mulligan, immediately facing pressure from a pair of Devils, and again, ball over the near sideline for a Dolphins throw-in, but the Dolphins are being heavily pressured. Back by their own goal, really have had a tough time moving the ball forward as the Devils win possession off of the throw-in. Quickly regained by the Dolphins. DiStefano toward Pelinkovic, and no room to put that ball through. As once again, Mulligan forced to give chase. May have to clear this one. Hasn't yet, and a nice play there by Mulligan to keep that ball alive for the Dolphins, trying to get them back moving forward on the attack, but the Devils are all over it. As that's played over towards Croce, and it deflects off of her into the arms of Kayla DiBenedetto.
Yeah, that time DeLoya did enough defensively to get in the way of Croce, give DiBenedetto the space she needed to make the play on that ball.
Ball along the far sideline. Two teams fighting for it. A couple of players go down. No foul call. Is ball now in the midfield, up in the air. Bracic working against Rosa, and a foul was called. I think the foul was called on Bracic. It was.
Yeah, Bracic just pushing the FDU defender out of the way. Will pick up the foul. So a free kick opportunity here coming up for the Devils.
Devils free kick taken by Derry Lyons. Dolphins come down with the ball, and DeLoya promptly kicks it right over the far sideline. Working along the far sideline is Nieto against Perello, and Perello just kicks the ball straight off of her and over the far sideline as you get another look at a men's soccer scoring update. I shouldn't say a scoring update. There is no score at the half between CSI and Brooklyn. Big matchup for both teams, men's soccer. As the Devils have a chance here for another good shot opportunity, and once again, that one over Kayla DiBenedetto, but that shot too high off the foot of Madeline Finnegan.
Yeah, Finnegan really has had several opportunities here in the second half, Joe, and hasn't been able to put the ball on net, that time putting it over the net once again. So Dolphins escape here, some early FDU pressure, still find themselves down by just a single goal.
This second half has been all FDU, and if you're a Dolphins fan, you have to be a bit concerned with the way this half has played out. Dolphins looked good early in this game, but have really struggled to maintain any consistent attacking play in the second half. We're winding down toward 30 minutes to go in half number 2. Still plenty of time left in this game. CSI only trailing by a single goal, and that ball too far in front of Nermina Bracic. Throw in for the Devils. Taken by Rosa. Finds Martins. Gets a toe on it, looking for Croce up ahead, but DiStefano will clear it over the far sideline. And another throw in for FDU. Teams fighting for it just outside the midfield circle, and a foul is called against the Dolphins.
Yeah, so an opportunity here for the Devils to at least put the ball toward the top of the penalty area and try to find that second goal. The Dolphins one shot away from tying it. The Devils looking to get that big second goal here in the second half.
Dolphins attacking play has really been stifled in this second half. We haven't seen much of it as that free kick is taken in toward the box. Looked like that was a shot attempt there by Finnegan as she tried to wrap her foot around a pair of Dolphins, but was unable to get that ball through, and a pair of Devil substitutions come onto the pitch. It's Brianna Cuccinelli and Lindsay Scarmazzino. They replace Erica Martins and Carly Bresney. Throw in upcoming for the Devils. And cleared away by the Dolphins. Another throw in upcoming. Dolphins have been forced to play very defensively in the second half. We saw that at the end of the first half as well. It wasn't until that Lauren Smith shot in the final couple of minutes that things really got going.
And you know, Joe, the team stuck with shots on goal at 4 and 3 apiece, but it's been the Devils putting a lot of pressure on and hitting a couple of posts. The Dolphins with one post of their own, but here in the second half, they've really struggled to get any offensive opportunities against FDU.
I'm not sure the Dolphins have possessed the ball beyond midfield for more than a couple of minutes in the second half. It's really been all FDU-Florham. CSI has really struggled and didn't see this coming after the way the first half went, especially the way the first half ended. We did see FDU seize control of half number 1 about midway through, but the Dolphins, with that great chance late, seemed to energize the spectators and perhaps energize this Dolphins team, but it hasn't translated into any second half success as Croce working against DiStefano. Their legs get tangled up, and that shot off of Adriana Perello, corner kick upcoming. I think that's number 3.
Yeah, it will be, Joe, and the Devils continue to put pressure on, and now we'll have another corner kick opportunity. They haven't really created any pressure through their first 2. Let's see how they do with number 3.
Setting up to take the corner is Tatiana Nieto. Low corner kick toward the near post, and DiBenedetto's right there. Not many Devils in the area. I'm not sure that was the plan. DiBenedetto looking for somewhere to go with it. Looked like she wanted to roll it forward. Instead, she'll punt it up towards Victoria Sanchez. Headed away by Nieto. That one off the foot of Mulligan. And a foul is called against the Devils. Foul is called against Croce.
So a couple of fouls by both teams here in the last couple of minutes. Now a free kick coming for the Dolphins as they try to find a way to generate a little offense here in the second half.
That one chipped up in the air by Rosa. Aparicio tried to gain possession for the Dolphins, could not, and then a pair of Devils chased down Victoria Sanchez and knocked that ball over the near sideline. Throw in by Aparicio in toward Pelinkovic. Not much room to work with. Chips it up in the air toward Bracic, who got a foot on it, but unable to put a shot on goal. It will, however, be a corner kick for the College of Staten Island, their first.
Yeah, and this is a huge opportunity here, and as usual, it'll be Perello to take the corner kick here for the Dolphins, who haven't had much offense here since early in the first half. An opportunity to get the ball right in the center of the penalty area and make a play.
There haven't been many opportunities for the Dolphins in this game. This certainly will be their best of the second half. Looks like the official is having a word with someone in goal. And he finally blows the whistle. Here comes the corner. Perello setting up and delivers a corner kick toward the near post. There were some Dolphins there, but the Devils come away with it. Now Croce only has Mulligan to beat for this ball. And De Benedetto will clear it toward the near sideline. How quickly that corner kick turned into a Devils attacking play. Not a long-lasting attacking sequence, but the Devils with an opportunity to chase that ball down. It was only Mulligan to beat, and she did a nice job getting that ball over to De Benedetto as Mignon wins it in the midfield for the Dolphins, quickly turns it over. Scarmazzino over toward the far sideline. It's now Croce giving chase, and Di Stefano forced to give it up to De Benedetto. De Benedetto tried to give it right back to Di Stefano. Deloya keeps it in nicely as Di Stefano chips it up in the air for Mignon. Mignon moving that ball toward Bracic as Bracic working for it along the far sideline against Rosa. And we'll have a substitution coming on. It will be Erica Pita, and she will replace Amanda Croce with 25:25 to go, and that substitution was allowed in error as possession belongs to the Dolphins, so we'll have to wait a bit longer for that substitution. Dolphins throw-in taken beyond midfield. Bracic fighting for possession against a pair of Devils. Possession will stay with CSI as Deloya throws. Bracic over towards Sanchez. Mignon comes away with it. Trying to find some space to work with. She can't and gives it up to Perello, who's forced to move it back to Mulligan. Devils keeping the pressure on the entire length of the field as Aparicio passes to Sanchez, and it's cleared away. Di Stefano nearly gave that one up as the Dolphins are scrambling to keep possession. They're able to. Roberts takes it away from Perello for just a moment, and then Roberts took it away from her own teammate, Finnegan, and it will be a Dolphins throw-in. And the head official once again moving Aparicio back. Finnegan had it for a moment. Her pass was intercepted by Di Stefano, who gains possession of it, moving toward the midfield. Quickly loses it to Finnegan as this could be trouble for the Dolphins. And that one gets by De Benedetto and in. On the goal for the Devils is Brianna Cuccinelli working against Rebecca Deloya. I'm not sure De Benedetto could believe she got a foot on it. Deloya had good position defensively, but Cuccinelli able to get that shot off and give her team a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, nice play, nice hustle play by Cuccinelli. You know, like you mentioned, it looked like the Dolphins had an opportunity to defend the play. Cuccinelli did a nice job getting the ball down and a beautiful touch to put it right against the near post on the side, just inside the goal post. So a nice goal that time by Cuccinelli, and that gives the FDU Devils a big 2-0 lead. Big goal that time by Brianna Cuccinelli.
And that shot had almost nothing on it. Looking at it on replay, it just didn't seem like De Benedetto was ready for a shot to be taken there. It looked like Cuccinelli was going to be taken out of that play by Deloya, who had a nice angle. And unfortunately for the Dolphins, she was able to get the shot off around Deloya, and it trickled by De Benedetto, who was really favoring that near post. And when that shot was taken to De Benedetto's right, she simply couldn't recover in time to make the save. And now the Dolphins find themselves in a 2-goal hole with about 23:20 to go in the second half. And the way the Dolphins have attacked in half number 2, they're going to have to get to work quickly to give themselves a chance in this game. There haven't been many opportunities for the College of Staten Island.
Yeah, so Cuccinelli picks up her second goal and the first goal of the second half for either team to give the Devils a big 2-0 lead.
Ball finds its way toward the box. And that's off of Finnegan, who keeps it in play and continues to give chase. Pita off the bench, having just entered, almost able to run that one down in the box, and DiBenedetto forced to make the play on it.
So the official scoring, Joe, it'll be Cuccinelli, her second. The assist will go to Finnegan. That's the first assist of the year for Finnegan. And that's the official scoring on the Devils' second goal.
That one over the head of Aparicio. Finnegan now moving in toward the box, plays it to the inside for Pita. Nice pass off the heel by Pita for Finnegan, but Mulligan was ready for it as Aparicio passes that one right off of Tatiana Nieto. It's over the near sideline. Dolphins throw in as we get another look at that goal.
And you see Finnegan, Cuccinelli able to turn that ball, get just ahead of DeLoya, and chip it in the net. Here's another opportunity, but DiBenedetto able to come up with the loose ball.
A sloppy play there on the goal by the Dolphins. It looked like that should have been a play that was taken care of either defensively or in between the pipes, and that just wasn't the case. You hate to fall behind 2 goals like that, now approaching what I would consider late in the second half or beyond the midway point in half number 2 now. As the Devils look to put together an attack once again, and offsides is called. You get a look at the shot total for the two teams. CSI still looking for their first shot in the second half. The Devils with 4 shots of their own in half number 2, and they've converted one of those into a goal. As you mentioned, the goal scored by Brianna Cuccinelli from Madeline Finnegan. Goal scored right at the start of the 67th minute. Mulligan will move it over before she takes this kick. Official wanted to place the ball where I thought it was an offsides call, but I heard foul from the bench. I think it was offsides as I saw the flag go up. Either way, Dolphins with possession. Along the far sideline, it was Bracic working against Rosa. She's dispossessed, and throw-in coming up for the Dolphins. Throw in toward Bracic, and once again cleared over the fence. Substitution coming on for the Devils. Erica Martin's back in. Madeline Finnegan heads to the bench.
Finnegan causing a lot of havoc, Joe, in the second half, getting a few opportunities at the goal and picking up an assist on the one Devils goal. So she played well in the second half, helping get the Devils their 2-0 lead.
Teams fighting for possession just beyond the midfield stripe, and we'll head back to our left. Along the far sideline, it's Mignon. She goes down, and a foul was called against the Dolphins. Throw in for the Devils is promptly thrown right back over that far sideline from which they took the throw in, and Rebecca DeLoya throws in for the Dolphins. Pelinkovic fighting for it, and another hard foul by Pelinkovic. And I think the Devils bench wanted a yellow card on that foul, Mike, as they've been saying this is going on all game, but I'm not sure you're going to see a yellow card for that.
Yeah, you know, it was a little bit of a foul, but nothing particularly malicious.
Not at all, Mike, as another foul is called. Fouls piling up in this one. I think that's number 11 for the Dolphins, and 7 fouls committed by the Devils as well. Pace of play has really slowed down over the last few minutes.
And if you're the Devils, you don't mind that at all, Joe. You're sitting with a 2-goal lead. It's going to force the Dolphins to make 2 plays here in the last 18 minutes. And pressure getting on the Dolphins now to try to find a way to build up a little offense and Of course, when you start trying to create a little offense, it can leave you susceptible in the back.
Team's fighting for it in the box. Ball up in the air and loose. Dolphins finally able to clear it. And CSI has really been starved for opportunities in the second half, looking to create one here as Brocic will give chase, and winning the ball for the Devils was Madison Rosa, and a foul is called. And it's called against the Dolphins once again.
Yeah, Brocic will pick up another foul here in the second half, so free kick for the Devils.
Dolphins just looking for any way to get some opportunities that they can find, and it seems like physical play is the way they're going, trying to win the ball with some tough challenges and tackle attempts, but that hasn't been enough. The officials been all over it. CSI hasn't gotten away with any of that physical play. It's just ended the chances they've had, and sustained passing hasn't been an option either. The pressure exerted by the Devils has just been too much. As time continues to run out on CSI, we're inside 17 minutes to go in the second half. Clock on your screen will be at about 92 minutes when we wrap up. Once again, that time unofficial. As Deloya throws in. Pelinkovic goes down. Mulligan tried to play that one toward midfield and finally able to do so. It's up in the air. Lauren Smith waiting for it to come down, heads it toward Pelinkovic, and she's able to get there in between a couple of Devils. But FDU-Florham able to clear it away. DiStefano over to Perello. Immediately chasing her down was Weber, forcing a quick pass toward Aparicio. Aparicio to throw in. Throw in gets by Mignon onto the foot of Pelinkovic, who chips it up in the air. Ball finds its way to Pita. Now with Nieto. Ball a bit too long for Pita as Mulligan gives it up to Deloya. Deloya moving forward with some speed toward the far sideline, and her pass intercepted, but she wins the ball right back. Now chips it over towards Brocic, and it's cleared over the far sideline by the Devils. Dolphins throw in.
Yeah, Dolphins still stuck on 4 shots on goal, Joe. And, you know, you mentioned they haven't really been able to get any shots. Only 6 on the game now. So FDU finds themselves in a good position with a 2-0 lead and doing a good job stymieing the Dolphin offensive attack. An attack that, of course, is missing their leading goal scorer in Samantha Laval, who's out of the lineup again here this afternoon.
And you can certainly see a difference in the Dolphins' attacking play without Laval. Yet to score a goal in this game. That's uncharacteristic of them, and really it's only been characteristic of their defeats, which goes without saying. If you don't score, you can't win the game, but the Dolphins have scored at least a goal in a couple of their losses so far this season. But when the Dolphins have won, they've typically won pretty big, or at least put several goals up on the scoreboard. They've scored at least 3 goals in all but one of their victories so far this season, so this CSI attack has been stellar so far in 2018. We mentioned the 4.1 goals per game average, but it's been the average goals allowed by the Devils that has held true in this one. They've allowed less than a goal per game so far this season, and they're 14 minutes and 20 seconds away from a shutout in this one. It's Matos and Bresny replacing Weber and Nieto for FDU-Florham, and we'll have another throw-in. We've seen so many of those so far in the second half. Both teams clearing the ball over the sidelines often, as that one finds its way over the boundary once again. Deloya to throw in. Ball rolling toward midfield. Deloya with a hard pass up ahead. It's Pelinkovic back to Deloya. Ball finds its way to Perello. Now Aparicio. Dolphins looking for a chance to do something on the attack, but they've been stifled quickly every time they've crossed into the final third.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe, that time it was Nicolette Roberts making the nice defensive play, and the Dolphins will have to throw it in.
And Alexa Appel will come in for the Dolphins, and she quickly gets her first touch, heads it over toward Lauren Smith. Smith comes away with it. Bracic fires toward goal. It's blocked. Bracic comes away with it again, moving forward with some speed, but she is met by Dari Lyons as DeLoya passes forward toward Bracic. Bracic looking for Smith. And I'm not sure who got a foot on that one, but it winds up in the arms of Paulino.
Yeah, so Dolphins able to get the ball on goal that time, but not much of a challenge as Paulino there to make the save. Doesn't allow any rebound, and the Devils put the ball back into play.
Ball chipped ahead toward Pita. It's DeLoya who got there first. Mulligan tried to play it out toward midfield, and the Dolphins do come away with it, but quickly give it up as now giving chase is Aparicio with Matos. And it will be a throw-in for the Dolphins. Shots on goal, 5-4 in favor of the College of Staten Island, but it hasn't mattered as 2 of those 4 FDU-Florham shots have found their way into the back of the net, and that one wide. Here comes DeLoya. And her pass intercepted, but the Dolphins do come away with it again. It's Perello over to Smith. Smith up toward Pelinkovic. Back to Perello. Good passing by the Dolphins here. Perello looking for somewhere to go with it. Finds Aparicio. She's shouldered off the ball for a moment by Martins. Now Pelinkovic working against Roberts, who clears it over the near sideline. Dolphins throw it.
Yeah, the best little bit of sustained pressure, Joe, by the Dolphins here in the second half. Not able to convert it to a shot, but forcing the Devils backwards and putting good pressure on.
Well, the Dolphins only need a goal to give themselves a chance in this game, but they'll need it soon. It has been a rough second half for the College of Staten Island on the attack. Really haven't had much of anything.
Big opportunity here, Joe, with the corner kick, their second of the second half.
Corner taken by Perello. Off the head of Appel and in! And there is that goal I was just referring to, Mike, as CSI has gotten themselves right back in this game with 10:22 to go in the second half. The College of Staten Island is on the scoreboard. Our score now, FDU-Florham 2, CSI 1.
Yeah, and you know the Dolphins were starving for a goal off of that set piece, and Perello with a beautiful corner kick puts it right in towards goals. We have an opportunity to take a look at it here as Perello taking the corner from the near side, crossed the ball beautifully all the way across toward the middle of the goal, and a nice job by Appel to head it back toward the near post. Great goal for the Dolphins. They're down by just 1.
Another great look at a Dolphins goal, courtesy of Dave Pizzuto, as we got a nice camera shot of that header right in front, and all of a sudden the Dolphins now only a goal away, and anything can happen when you're down by 1 goal. Still a lot of urgency on the Dolphins side, as there are exactly 10 minutes to go in this game. Perello looking to move forward through the Devils' defense there with speed. She was dispossessed for a moment, but the Dolphins come away with it as Aparicio fires wide of the left post.
So for Appel, that's going to be her second goal of the year. Adriana Perello credited with the assist. That'll be her 5th of the year to bring the Dolphins back to within a goal and get them right back into the game, 2-1.
9 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the second half. Long goal kick taken out toward midfield once again by Paulino. He's demonstrated some good leg strength in this one as Mulligan chips it up in the air. It's rolling toward the near sideline. Aparicio gives chase, gets there, but can't keep it in. Throw in for the Devils to be taken by Nicolette Roberts as we have a substitution for FDU-Florham. It's Tatiana Nieto, and she will replace Danielle Matos. 2 teams fight forward along the near sideline, and it's a throw-in for the Devils.
Yeah, so Martin's working against Aparicio that time, able to draw the throw-in, and You know, you mentioned it before, Joe. FDU playing very methodically here in the later stages of the second half as the clock continues to wind down.
And that one finds its way over towards us. Ball never seems to fail to find its way over here at least once or twice per game. As Pelinkovic chases that ball toward midfield. Winds up on the foot of Pirello, who gives it up to Smith. Smith looking for Mignon. Her pass intercepted, but Mignon wins the ball right back, moving ahead with some speed. Here comes Mignon looking for Pelinkovic. She finds Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic able to maintain possession for a moment, but had nowhere to go with it as the Devils swarm on that ball. Attempting to clear it was Roberts. Instead, it finds the foot of Pirello, and this time Roberts clears it out toward midfield as Croce wins the ball from Mulligan, but DiStefano was there to back the play up. Mulligan fighting for it, and that pass just ahead of Aparicio.
That time Pelinkovic a moment ago, Joe, got the ball in the penalty area, one touch away from clearing out enough space to get the shot, but once again, a good defensive play by the Devils, and they'll throw the ball in at midfield.
Weber for Bresny was the substitution for FDU-Florham, as we are approaching 7 minutes to go in this game. Time on your screen just about official now. No more than a second or two off following the reset after the Dolphins' goal, and substitution coming on for the Devils.
And the Devils with a couple of substitutions here. Each time, Joe, running a few seconds off the clock. Part of that methodical play you were mentioning earlier before.
Martins has it down around the corner, looking to play it into the box, but Mulligan was right there to intercept. Appel gets a foot on it, redirecting it in toward the middle of the field, but Pirello couldn't keep that one from traveling over the fence. Throw in for the Devils. 6:30 to go in the second half. Martins trying to chase it down, cleared away once again. And I think the Devils will take their time chasing this ball down. Devils certainly using the clock to their advantage here. Throw into Martins. She'll look to keep it in play down around the corner, waste some more time, but Aparicio able to take it away from her before it was cleared over the sideline by Nieto.
Should mention, Joe, our next soccer broadcast is Saturday afternoon. The men's game will be first, and that will be followed by the women, both CUNYAC conference games. So a couple of big games coming up here this weekend on CSI Sportsnet.
As we have a lot of action in front, and that one wide is just as I glanced down at that 55th minute update. Still no score in the men's game between CSI and Brooklyn, and FDU-Florham nearly put goal number 3 up on the scoreboard. And despite them having a 1-goal lead and having put 2 up already, they certainly could have much more, Mike.
Yeah, and you know, that time Di Benedetto was able to make the save but not hold on to possession. As you see the Dolphins clearing the ball into the center of the field, FDU turning the ball right back offensively as a long shot was taken that time on goal. Di Benedetto made the save on Nieto, but FDU nearly able to put in the rebound. But here come the Dolphins, less than 5 minutes remaining.
Down goes a pair of players there, and this one up ahead toward Croce. She has no one in front of her. Aparicio tries to cut her off. She does, and clears it out of danger for a moment toward Mignon. It's over her head. Scarmazzino had it for a moment. Ball now up in the air toward midfield. Appel got her foot on it, but the Devils come away with possession. Pass toward Croce knocked away by Mulligan. Pass for Appel finds its target, and Appel turns and plays one up ahead toward Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic gives chase alongside Lyons as Polino clears one over the head of Appel. Could have been trouble if Appel came down with it. Pirello fighting against Martins for possession. Martins turns, looking to get by Pirello. She can't. Pirello takes it away. Looking for Pelinkovic. Ball winds up in the air as Pelinkovic fights for it. Mignon has some space, but getting there just in time was Lyons to clear it out toward midfield. Under 4 minutes to go in the second half. DiStefano looking to get by Croce. Instead will turn around and play it back to her goalkeeper, Kayla Di Benedetto.
Yeah, and other than that Pelinkovic touch inside the penalty area right after the goal, Joe, Dolphins haven't been able to get much of an opportunity on the Devils' goal since getting one goal behind.
Break there for the Dolphins as the clearance hits off the back of a Devils player, allowing the Dolphins to move forward into the attacking third along the far sideline. It's Deloya with speed, beats one defender, working against Lyons. Did Lyons get a foot on it? I think she did. So it will be a Dolphins corner kick, and this is how CSI put their first goal up on the scoreboard, now looking for the equalizer.
Yeah, the first goal came on a corner kick from the near side. This time Perello will take it over on the far side, but a nice play by the Dolphins to force the corner kick and certainly give themselves an opportunity to tie the game right here.
Big corner kick, Perello taking it way short, as it was Lauren Smith who got the first foot on it, but the Devils with an opportunity to clear it away. Deloya against Croce, and it's Croce who wins it with the header. Finnegan looking for Croce ahead of Mulligan, but Mulligan in good position, not allowing Croce any space to work with. It's De Benedetto who has it, 2.5 minutes to go. That one punted out towards Aparicio, and she intercepts the pass intended for Martins. Appel working against Roberts. Aparicio up towards Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic continues her aggressive play and once again is called for a foul.
Yeah, so another foul called on the Dolphins. That's going to be their 13th of the afternoon. So a free kick opportunity here coming up for the Devils. And, you know, once again, Joe, if you're FDU, you're not in any hurry, and why should you be?
Absolutely, Mike. And that ball was rolled nice and slowly out toward midfield from the Devils bench, certainly in no rush to take this free kick. It will be Lyons to kick it away. And she'll kick it straight into her bench, so I'm not sure what the intent was there. Perhaps just didn't get good foot on it. Either way, Dolphins will throw in. Throw in to Lauren Smith, 1:30 to go in the second half. Time running out on CSI in this one. Croce looking toward Martins. Dolphins have it as Mulligan plays it up toward Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic gets a leg on it. It's kicked out toward midfield. Aparicio there to meet it. Aparicio over toward Lauren Smith. Pass knocked away. Good play in the passing lane there by Sydney Weber. Devils had it for a moment, but it's Perello. Kicks it toward the box, and Paulino will grab it. She can take her time. 1 minute remaining in regulation. Long punt out toward midfield by Paulino. Off the head of Aparicio, and the Devils can dribble this one down into the corner. I'm sure that's what they'll look to do here. That's Finnegan with it down in the corner. DiStefano wins it quickly, turns, but her pass over the far sideline. Devils throwing upcoming, and with 33 seconds to go, that might be all for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and that was a nice kick into the wind by Paulino. Got it all the way down on the Dolphin side of the field, and now FDU just looking to run out the last 20 seconds here, Joe.
20 seconds to go. Mulligan kicks it up toward Lauren Smith, intercepted by the Devils, and the Dolphins have nowhere to go with it. They get possession back, 12 seconds to go. Pass into the midfield circle, kicked away and cleared toward goal by the Devils as we have a scramble for it in front. De Benedetto comes away with it, but time runs out on the Dolphins as they drop this non-conference matchup to FDU-Florham by a score of 2-1.
Yeah, you know, Joe, it was an exciting game, a good game played by the Dolphins. The Dolphins, once again, playing without their leading goal scorer, Samantha Laval. And, you know, the Dolphins looking and having opportunities, especially early in the game, not finding a way to be able to complete the plays. Nice job by FDU to take a 2-0 lead. The Dolphins came back with a goal off a corner kick, but it wasn't enough as they fall by a final score of 2-1.
Some quick final numbers in this game. Of course, our final score once again 2-1. Devils over the Dolphins. The final shot tally, FDU-Florham with 17. The Dolphins with 9. 6 shots on goal for both teams. 3 corners for the Devils, 2 for the Dolphins. Both of those Dolphins corners coming late in the second half. Dolphins with some physical play in this game, committed 12 fouls to only 7 for FDU-Florham. 5 offsides calls against the Devils in this one, none for the Dolphins. And for CSI, with that defeat, they've now dropped 3 out of their last 4. Overall record falls to 6-5 for FDU-Florham. They improve to 8-3-1. Once again, Mike, as you mentioned before, our next broadcast will be this Saturday. First up, men's soccer taking on Hunter College as you get a look at a 67th minute update from Brooklyn College. The men still scoreless against the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. CSI looking to remain unbeaten within the CUNYAC Conference so far this year, and if they can come away with a victory in that game against Brooklyn, that unbeaten conference streak will stay intact and will be on the line this weekend against Hunter. As for the women, they remain unbeaten in the CUNYAC Conference with a record of 3-0. They'll look to stay perfect against CCNY. Beavers up huge over Medgar Evers in the first half of that game. Last we checked, it was 17-0. That was not an error. Huge lead in that game for CCNY. They meet the College of Staten Island here at the CSI Soccer Complex this Saturday. Women's soccer immediately following the men's game beginning at 2 p.m. Our coverage of men's soccer begins at 11:45 a.m. And that wraps up our coverage for today. Dolphins fall to FDU-Florham by a score of 2-1. This has been Joe Foreman, and for Mike Babuski and all of us here at the College of Staten Island, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Dave Pizzuto, our engineer, and Joe Masha behind us on camera. We thank them for helping us bring this broadcast to you as well. Once again, our final score, Devils 2, Dolphins 1. Next broadcast at csidolphins.com for that broadcast, and enjoy the rest of your night.